City Council. We'll call the meeting to order, and before we go any further, I want to make it clear that anybody who is going to speak tonight, particularly in the audience, please come to the podium and speak into the microphone. And the same thing for city staff. If you're going to speak tonight, please speak into the microphone. It really helps our recording, our audio, and so on that Ryan is doing over there to we get a good sound pitch. So please speak into the microphone, whoever you are. At this point, we'll call on Ted to lead the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anytime.
This time of the year, we're beginning to see some snowfall, and we've had a couple of warnings of the snow that is to come. Please be reminded that the city ordinance requires residents to have their sidewalks to be cleared of snow within 24 hours of a snowfall. If you're unable to clear your walks or know someone who would have trouble clearing their walks, please give us a call. We'll try to get someone out there to help you out. COVID-19 numbers continue to remain pretty high in the county. At this point, Wyoming Medium Correctional Center is showing only 3 active cases. That's down a considerable amount from 2 weeks ago when it was over 100, so big improvement there. The number of cases across Wyoming is down substantially in the last couple of months since reaching a high on August 15th. 6 more Goshen County people have died in the last week, raising the total deaths in Goshen County at 46, and that's in the last 2 weeks. It's gone up from 38 to 46. Currently, people who are unvaccinated account for 95% of those people hospitalized statewide. Goshen County Public Health continues to provide vaccination clinics, and beginning 2 weeks ago, for those with compromising conditions, those people could get booster shots. If you're not yet vaccinated, please consider getting the shot. Being vaccinated is the single most effective intervention that we have to prevent your becoming infected with one of the variants of the COVID virus or spreading it to anyone else. Also, remember to continue practicing all those interventions that we've talked about for nearly 2 years now. Work will continue this week on the final sewer upgrades for the year. Access is currently disrupted between 23rd and 25th in the alley between West A and West B. Paving operations continue on Ridge Road. Curb, gutter, and a substantial amount of pavement is in place along with much of the street. The expectation is, if the weather holds, that the paving portion of the project will be completed by this coming weekend. Then it will take another 7 days to cure the concrete to the point where we are able to drive on it. Some final touches are all that will remain at that point. Pre-bidding will take place tomorrow on a $3.5 million wastewater treatment plant, with the actual bidding process completed within the next month or so. Construction will then begin early next year and likely continue through 2022. We're still waiting on the emergency generator that was supposed to arrive on the 12th to the ambulance building, and the parts for the fuel island repairs at the airport. Those installations will be completed as soon as the parts arrive. The last item I want to mention tonight is that the Smithsonian exhibit is here at the Homesteaders Museum. The exhibit is called Crossroads, Change in Rural America. The exhibit is one of several Museum on Main Street exhibits created by the Smithsonian Institution. The exhibit will be on display from November 4th through November 3rd. Our museum director, Sarah Chairs, would like to invite everyone to come to the museum, view the exhibit. Please invite your friends to come with you. We look forward to seeing you there. Okay. Next item is to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the November 2nd, 2021 City Council meeting as published.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We've approved the consent agenda. Next item is the approval of the agenda, and before we move on that, there is an amendment. And the amendment will involve deleting item number 3 at the bottom. Delete that item, and then right below it, write-in 3A. We're going to replace 3 with 3A. The new catering permit is going to be that item, and we'll cover that when we get to it. That's the only addition or change to the agenda.
I'd move to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We have approved the agenda. Action items. First action item tonight is a special event permit request from Sandy Hone and Mariah Brist with Goshen County Economic Development. They're requesting a special event permit for the Christmas celebration and parade event to be held on December 3rd, 2021 from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The applicants are requesting approval to close the public street on Main Street between 20th and 23rd and to have the special event permit fee waived. You girls want to come up? Sandy is here and Mariah is here.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Yep, so we're just going to have our annual Christmas parade and festivities. The reason why we're asking to close the street down is because in the past, just because it's dark at night, we do have carriage rides downtown in between those two streets, and so sometimes people come around the corner pretty fast and they don't see that carriage, so. And then while the parade's going on, kiddos still like to jump out and get the candy, and when there's cars parked there, it's just, they're even closer to that center of the road, so.
Okay. We have quite a bit of information from Chief Johnson. Pat, is there any changes to that or any addition or any concerns?
No, there won't be any changes or additions.
Okay. Council, I think that's probably all the information.
Do you have good weather scheduled?
I hope
Please.
so.
Try to do that.
We'll try our hardest.
We've had pretty good so far, so.
Yeah.
I would move to approve the special event permit and weave the fee. I can't even say it right. Yeah.
Thank you, Councilman Kenny.
Waive the fee, how's that?
I'll second that motion.
Councilman Patterson, thank you.
Gee.
All right. We have a motion and a second to approve the special event permit request from the Goshen County Economic Development. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Good enough.
Thank you.
Good luck.
See you there.
See you there.
Okay, item number 2 is a catering permit. Tiffany Leslie with the Bronco Bars requesting a catering permit for a City of Torrington Christmas party to be held on December 3rd from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. at 436 East 22nd Avenue. That's the Lincoln Community Complex Pony Express Room. Chief Johnson is not here, but Sylvia is here. And Sylvia, would you like to comment?
Just a standard catering permit request, Mayor. Just so happens it's for our event. Tiff is here if you
Come on
have
up.
any questions. Yeah.
Okay,
How are you guys tonight?
good.
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 I will be doing your annual Christmas party, and I'm really excited. This is the first time I'll be doing it for you guys. I put 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. just because we were unsure of what time it will end. I do know that your guys' Christmas party starts at 5 p.m., and so the 3 p.m. is just for me to come in and set up, because I was, from talking to Brenda McCrane, you guys only have an ice machine in the room, so I will have to bring in a lot of different things to get all set up. So that's why there's the 2-hour time difference there, just so I can bring everything in. And then I was told you guys are having a comedian from 7 to 8 p.m., and that some people may choose to stay afterwards. So I wasn't exactly clear on what time the actual event will end. So I gave myself to midnight just to haul everything back out and get everything taken care of that way.
Thanks for the explanation. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Council, do you have questions?
Will the police be there?
I would assume so. I don't know.
Well, we may be on parade.
Well, afterwards.
Double duty.
Parade, we will be.
Okay.
I would move to approve this.
Councilwoman Steinbach,
Permit.
thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the special event, the catering permit for the City of Torrington Christmas Party. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's been approved.
Thank you. I will see
Look
you guys
forward to
there.
it.
Thank
Right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3, as you remember, has been deleted. We are now to item 3A. It is a catering permit. Randy Heiser from Two Horse Hospitality is here, working with under Ethan Fitch's license at the Bronco Bar for a Goshen County 100-year celebration on December 4th from 4 to 7:30 p.m. at 2001 East A Street. Randy, you're on.
Good evening. This is another social event that I'm familiar with hosting. This happens to be one of many events that will be part of the 100-year celebration for the library. They want to have a 2-hour cocktails at the library, and we're going to make a menu of 2 different cocktails that will pair with appetizers being served based on literary cocktails. There's quite a list to go over, so I'm going to meet with the organization tomorrow morning, and we'll narrow that down.
Okay, good enough.
I'll bet this is the first time that we've ever had one of these in a library.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's all.
Hopefully, it's the first of many.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
One correction, it's Ethan Fitch with the Mint Bar.
Okay.
Thank you.
4 to 8.
Is that,
Yeah, that's what he wrote down, 4 to 8.
okay? I'll be serving from 5 to 7.
This includes cleanup, so
Yep.
probably, yep.
Correct. Any other questions?
So it's 4 to 8, not 4 to 7:30.
Yeah.
Correct.
Any other questions for Brandy? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the catering permit for Brandy and
Two Horse Hospitality.
Two Horse Hospitality.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. Have a motion to approve and a second to approve the catering permit for the 100th anniversary of the Goshen County Library. Further discussion?
Yeah, I thought that's what I
Hearing
said.
none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 4, proclamation, Attorney Eddington proclaiming 11/27/21 as Small Business Saturday.
Whereas the government of the city of Torrington, Wyoming celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions they make to our local economy and community. According to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 31.7 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of firms with paid employees, and they are responsible for 65.1% of net new jobs created from 2000 to 2019. Whereas small businesses employ 47.1% of the employees in the private sector in the United States, 88% of U.S. consumers feel a personal commitment to support small businesses in the wake of the pandemic, and 92% of small business owners have pivoted the way they do business to stay open during the pandemic. Whereas 97% of Small Business Saturday shoppers recognize the impact they can make by shopping small, 85% of them also encourage friends and family to do so. Whereas 56% of shoppers reported they shopped online with small business on Small Business Saturday in 2020, and more than 50% of consumers who reported shopping small endorsed a local business on social media or shopped at local business because of social media recommendation. Whereas the City of Torrington, Wyoming supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities. Whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed this Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, Randy L. Adams, Mayor of the City of Torrington, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim November 27, 2021 as Small Business Saturday, and urge the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturday and throughout the year.
Thank you. As Attorney Eddington said, the whole point of this proclamation is to support all kinds of local businesses that we can support, and it's particular for the Friday and the Saturday right after Thanksgiving. We'd like to have people stick around and support the businesses locally. even if it means that they're going to shop online. If they shop online, you know, those sales taxes benefit us also. So the whole point of the proclamation is to support that, and I think that's basically all I need to say. Anything else?
I would move to approve the proclamation as presented. No one can
Thank you,
talk tonight.
Councilwoman Steinwalk. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item number 5 is a public hearing, and at this time, we will adjourn the regular session of the Torrington City Council and convene as a member, convene as a Board of Adjustment. Alyssa Colson with Colson Law is requesting a conditional use permit to be allowed to open a law office in the rear house of a property located in a residential zone. Mr. Estes.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. As you said, Ms. Lawson, Colson from the Colson Law Firm is asking for a conditional use permit to allow a law office in this second home as you go down 23rd Avenue. This is the first home that she does own. She owns this whole property. She wants to put her law office in this little second home that was for years a beauty shop, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I've had no comments from the neighbors. The planning commission talked about 2 seconds on it. And so staff would recommend approval. She does have off-street parking, which is not typical in these cases, but she does. And I would be stand for any questions.
Alyssa, would you like to come up?
I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Alyssa Colson. I would like to go ahead and put my law practice in over here at the building that we are currently renovating. I am currently renting a place right now here in town, and so I would like to move to my own location that offers a little bit better access to my clientele, and so I'm happy to entertain any questions that you guys may have.
Looks to me like it's a pretty good idea.
No worries.
Are there going to be any issues with clients getting up that first step or into your building?
As far as I know, I have not heard of it there being an issue. That would be the only step that is actually on the premises, and if it does become, I can easily correct that issue if need be. Right now, currently, that place I rent is 307 Realty Professionals. It's the upstairs of that building, and so there is quite a few steps currently, and so I'm trying to get out of that as quickly as I can. And so the clientele that I have now have not had an issue, and if I have, I've adjusted, so I don't foresee the one step being an issue, but if it does, that is something I would definitely correct and fix.
See any issues with that?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Would that have to be ADA compatible?
She is not doing enough remodeling, no.
I got
Any
it.
other questions for her? Thank you. At this point, we'll open a public hearing. In a public hearing situation, the council will hear comments in favor of allowing this conditional use permit. And then, once those are complete, we'll hear comments opposed to allowing this conditional use permit. At the end of those comments, then we will close the public hearing and the council will take action. So at this point, is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of the conditional use permit for Alyssa Colson? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor of the conditional use permit for Alyssa Colson? Seeing no one jump to the podium, is there anyone here who would like to speak against? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against? I see no one, therefore we will close the public hearing. Council, it's up to you.
I would move to approve.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit. Further discussion?
I would remind the council that the owner is aware that this is a conditional use permit. It is her conditions, and it does not transfer with ownership.
In the event that she would sell the property, then it would revert back to,
Correct. And she will not be living in the front house. She will be using that as a rental.
okay.
That shouldn't matter, right, for us?
No, just wanted you to be aware of that.
Okay.
Okay. Further comments?
Yeah, I do have one. So if that has always, or as long as any of us can remember, been a beauty parlor, or whatever you want to call it, sorry, did they have a conditional use permit for that?
I couldn't tell you, it was before my time, but I would consider that a legal, non-conforming use at that time.
Okay.
We don't do that, do we?
Never.
That's what I thought. Thank you, Mr. Estes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? It's been approved. Good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
Okay, item number 6 is an ordinance on second reading annexing the A.B. Miller Airport addition. Attorney Eddington.
It's an ordinance annexing within the corporate limits of the city of Torrington, Wyoming, real property to be known as the A.B. Miller Airport Addition. If you recall, it's really a housekeeping matter. It's an old annexation that we did several years ago, and we didn't get it, or an old purchase several years ago, and we didn't get it annexed.
Okay. This is a second reading of it. We talked about it a little bit last time. I don't believe there are many questions. Anything come up to change that, Jeff?
I've heard no comments from the public or staff.
Okay. Okay, council, do you have any questions for Director of Public Works Harkins?
So no changes from the first reading.
No changes from the first reading. The exhibit that is attached will have to be corrected because that exhibit is actually for the little tiny piece in the, if Dennis can bring up the bigger picture, would be in the northeast corner is what that exhibit is actually describing. So I'll rewrite that for the third reading to depict the blue area that's actually going to be annexed.
Same thing you explained last time, right? Okay. Any concerns or questions? Okay.
I would move to approve the ordinance on second reading.
Councilman Kenny, thank you. I have a motion to approve on second reading a Miller Airport addition. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the A.B. Miller Airport addition. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved it on second reading. Item number 7, addendum number 4 to the agreement for professional service with MC Schaff and Associates. Jeff.
Yeah, this is the addendum that we need for the seal coat project that is being proposed up at the airport. The seal coat project will seal the main runway and some of the apron areas. The crosswind runway, which was recently resurfaced, and the new taxiway that was built as part of the project that we just got finished up this summer is not included in that. The amount of funds that MC Shaft and Associate will need is not to exceed $16,293. That money has been budgeted in the current budget, as well as the proposed construction cost, which is estimated
So the
around
city's portion is
$150,000.
about how much?
It's a 90-10 split, 90% from the state, 10% from the city of Torrington. So the city's share of MC Shaft's engineering cost would be about $1,629. The estimated share for the actual construction would probably be around $15,000.
These airport projects, since they're funded 90% by YDOT or FAA or whatever, always a good deal for us.
Always a good deal.
Yep. Okay. Council, do you have any concerns or questions?
I do have a question.
Councilman Kinney.
This is addendum 4, how long is this agreement, the first agreement with MC Shaw?
We do a 5-year agreement with the airport consultant.
Right.
I think I think his current 5-year agreement expires in 2023.
That's what I want to know. Thank you.
Let's see, this is addendum number 4. Why do we do the addendums instead of a contract for each phase?
Because he's working under the general contract, the 5-year agreement that we have. So every time a project comes up, we do an addendum to that original agreement.
Because I think that once there was something brought up about it, gets everything kind of confused with the more addendums you add to it.
I'm not aware of it being confusing.
Maybe that was the other council.
I mean, addendum 1 was part of the airport taxiway project, and addendum 2 was again part of that same project. There were 2 different things, one for the rehabilitation of runway 220, the other was for the reconstruction of the taxiway. Addendum 3 we just completed was the purchase of the snow removal equipment, and now this will be addendum 4, which is seal coat of the main runway and the apron areas.
Will this essentially end or complete this project, this current project? Is this the last thing involved in that?
As far as his 5-year agreement?
No, in terms of the project that they just completed.
No, that's actually been completed. So I think we're pretty much done with that.
And
This will be a brand-new project,
oh, a seal coat.
a seal coat.
So
With
the,
the weather turning cold, it won't be done till probably what, next spring maybe?
It'll probably be done next spring, summer.
so the part of the airport that we just got done with the construction of, it doesn't need to be seal coated, or,
No,
because it's not, it's already been
brand new
done?
payment.
Got it, okay.
And they wanted to include it, but my recommendation was not to include it because I think that's a waste of money to seal coat brand-new pavement.
Okay, thank you.
Good point.
Okay,
I would move to approve the addendum number 4.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve addendum number 4 to the agreement for professional services with MC Schaff and Associates. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have approved the addendum. Item number 8, Health Insurance Committee proposal regarding the 2022 health insurance renewal. Clerk Treasurer Strecker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So handed out tonight was a memo from the Health Insurance Committee. The committee met last week with our health benefit advisor, Brian Hillier, and we went over our current condition of our self-funded health plan. We looked at claims as they are so far coming in as of the first 8 months of the plan year, January, or actually 10 months, January through October 31st. Plans are up this year, which are expected. Last year, there was a record low number of claims, basically because everybody was home and trying to stay out of the doctor's office. So that everybody's getting back to their semi-routine and getting those surgeries, elective surgeries, and those sorts of things done that are normally were not done last year. So we looked at our plan, and it was time to renew, and we got 9, and Brian presented 9 different carriers to us. The carriers all came in higher, of course. I think inflation has taken a toll on the healthcare industry like the rest of products. But actually, the increase in premium ended up being about $36,000, which is actually only about 10%, which is is reasonable considering. The new renewal did drop a laser on one of our individuals. A laser is put on by our stop-loss carrier for an individual who may be experiencing more claims or is at risk. And so they would not kick in and pay the at-risk insurance until the city spent $200,000 in claims. So that was on there last year, and it was dropped this year, so we don't have that on that individual this year, which is a huge savings to the plan. So the committee looked at our reserve balances, and the reserve balance is steady. We took a proactive approach in June and raised the amount we were putting in for claims into our reserve account to hopefully cover for some of these higher claims coming in. And I believe that was a good tactic. At this point, the Health Insurance Committee believes that we don't need to make any changes in the middle of the budget year, which is good. We also discussed adding Teledoc to our plan. Teledoc, there was some information attached. It's an online service that's available 24/7 that offers you to visit with a doctor in regards to routine or maybe non-emergent things. And the cost is $3.58 per employee per month. So we currently have 76 employees that are utilizing our health insurance plan. So this would be available to those 76 employees and their dependents and families. And the cost would be $3,465 for the year. The committee thought that this was pretty reasonable considering it could save us money on urgent care claims. You know, a typical average claim is about $125. So if you take that into the $3,465, that's about 28 visits for the year. And I believe, especially for those young families or those people who don't want to go into the doctor's office, this is a good viable option for them, and it could potentially save our plan money. So we would like to recommend going forward with this benefit for the year and testing it out, see if it's being used. If it is being used and saving us money, we'll reevaluate it at the end of the year and decide whether or not we want to renew it. But we'd like to recommend going forward with that as well. So at this time, I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
So this $385 per employee per month, is there not a copay or anything with that? It's that you just get access to the Teledoc?
Yep, no cost to the employee at all.
Nice. Okay, so then, do you know how you might let the employees know or market it to them? I know that we had, on my insurance plan, we have access to this, and I didn't even know about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it's a great idea, but I do think that somehow you have to get educate the employees and let them know that what it entails and that it's not going to cost and all of that.
Usually I send out emails and we do stuffers. We'll definitely try to promote the plan to the employees, and we also rely on our committee to inform their fellow employees about what's going on in the health insurance. So there's several different ways we can get it out there to the employees.
Lynette also explained that this morning at our staff meeting to all the department heads, and the department heads then take it to their staff. So
Good.
I think we're going to get it out there pretty well.
Good.
I think the committee's position on it was that it's an excellent low-cost alternative. We'd only have to save about, well, you can see the numbers, prevent about 2 doctor's visits a month for it to break even. So for those things you're not sure if you need to see a doctor or not, you call this. And if you don't, great, you can get it taken care of that way. Or they may say sometimes you need to get in and see the doctor, but it just gives another option for people.
And they can write prescriptions for simple illnesses. And I do know of one of the employees who used it and paid for the service, and I think it was like $75. Got the prescription at Vandals and didn't have to go to the doctor. So,
Goshen County Schools had this for, I don't know, a few years, and we used it, ended up using it. It was just easier than, and it's typically everybody gets sick on Sunday anyway.
oh, yeah.
And
Especially
so,
kids.
I mean, we called in, and we're able to get a prescription and all of that. So I think it's a good benefit, so.
Okay.
Yeah, if our employees use it, like I said this morning, it's almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
If they will take
It is.
advantage of it.
It is. I hope
It's easy.
it is used, and hopefully, if they do need to see a doctor, this doctor will say, you need to go to the emergency room, or you need to go to urgent care for this test, whatever. But then they'll know, and you'll have that peace of mind as well.
Well, that on top of the fact that you're not recommending an increase, that's great.
It is. I think that's good news for the employees at this time, because after the first 3 months of this year, looking at the budget, I was pretty worried about an increase in premiums, so I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Speaking of an increase in premiums, I'm a little confused. Because at the bottom it says there'll be no change in premiums paid by the employees, or no charge in premiums paid by the city, but yet up above it says that premiums are going up $36,000.
It is, but it's going to be offset by that laser we're not going to have on that individual. So actually, we're in a situation where we're actually better off in the long run.
So you're saying our total premium is $160,000 less than it was before? Is that what you're saying?
It could be. This is all, the 200,000 is probably not a definite savings, but if this individual continues to have those claims, which I'm pretty sure they will, then it will save us that 160,000, but that part is not for sure.
It's an estimate.
Well, that should clear that up.
Yeah, I know, it's confusing, and the health insurance is, I don't know how to explain it, but
It's confusing.
It's very confusing, and I am very grateful for Brian Hillier and his expertise, because I go to him often with, what does this mean?
Because you have insurance, you have reinsurance, and you have stopgap, and all the
Right.
pieces work together, and it
Right.
depends on how much risk you have, and we have less risk than we did last year, and so that lowers
Yeah.
that part of it.
Well, I sure hope the city employees appreciate it, because I know my insurance goes up every year, and I don't have a say in it. And I know everybody up here probably does the same thing.
Yeah.
So they should consider themselves very lucky to have.
I think most of them do, and I think, that's how we can retain our employees and recruit employees, is because of our good benefits.
Yeah, along with what Kate said about making sure our employees are aware, I think we maybe need to restate it more times than we normally would or something, just to let them know.
And they need to thank you
Remind them.
guys for supporting them and supporting the plan, because it has saved us a lot of money over the years being self-insured.
Okay. Any further questions for Clerk Treasurer Strecker?
Do we need a motion to accept that
I guess
proposal?
Yes, please.
we're not going to change anything, but we do need a motion to.
Just a motion to accept the renewal and the new Teledoc addition.
Okay.
I'll move to.
Okay, Councilman Patterson, thank you. Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the Health Insurance Committee proposal. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Item 9, approval of the bills from November 3rd, 21 through November 16th, 21. Clerk Treasurer Strecker.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I attached a list of bills to the agenda and also handed out an additional set tonight. I'd be glad to answer any questions on the bills listed.
On the first set on page 3, home and lawn services, spraying test plots for the cemetery, what is that all about?
I actually, Mr. Stoger asked me if he could do a test plot. He's spraying some chemicals over at the school that is getting rid of a nuisance weed we're having at the cemetery. So he sprayed a plot for us before it got cold, and we'll know this spring if that chemical helped. His chemical is way cheaper than what the salesman is trying to sell us.
So if he wanted to spray it, why is he charging us for it?
I asked him to spray it with his chemical,
Oh,
because we're not seeing the same weeds at the cemetery, or at the school that they're seeing at the cemetery.
okay.
We have a lot of problem up there with windmill grass. Late summer, the whole thing turns brown. And that's what he was spraying for,
He
right?
said it kills it, but we'll see, because it's significantly cheaper than what the salesman's trying to sell us. But we won't know till spring.
Is that crabgrass or is it something else?
No, it's a windmill grass. It's a brown grass that got like a wheat head on it. And when
Yeah.
it gets hot, it opens up like a windmill and just tumbles across.
Ah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
And then on page 4, for Morehouse for planted pine trees, where did they plant those trees at?
I believe they're putting a new windbreak up behind the West Little League field on the sports complex, up there where all that wind hits up there,
That'd be nice.
Okay.
unless Dave did something. Lynette?
No, it is coded to parks,
Yeah.
so.
And the last one I've got is on page 5 for outdoor fitness equipment for walking path.
That is exercise equipment that I purchased through a grant through Wyoming Community Gas. I will be installing those on the new walking path areas. You know, there's already 5 or 6 pieces on that walking path. So it took us, I ordered it in May. It just showed up.
That's one of the real benefits of our residents in our community participating in Wyoming Community Gas, because we get a payment for it, and we can apply that to lots of different things. And one of the things we do is to the walking path. And it's, I think we put up the shelter in Jordan last year.
Well, last year, but there's 2 in Jordan right now that want to.
Okay. And we put in benches, and we did some, lots of other work, but no cost to the city.
Thank you for your questions. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay. I don't hear of any other questions, so we'll move ahead. A motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. Motion and a second to approve the bills. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the bills. Item number 10 is public comment. This is a time where we allow the public to address the council, ask questions of the council, complain, whatever it is you'd like to do. If you do so, want to do that, please come to the podium, take a couple of minutes, and we'll be glad to listen. Is there anybody who would like to speak? Lancer, do you have anything for us? Okay. Mr. Kenny?
We were talking about people, like telling everybody thank you for supporting things that are done here at the council. And I do, I'm on the chairing that wage committee, and it seems like every time I walk into this building, somebody's telling me thank you for, or I get an email that says thank you for supporting something that the city employees are doing, or that they've done, or they've been involved in, and it's out there, and I really appreciate hearing back from the employees. And, I mean, I feel like I'm just doing my job up here, what I was elected to do. But when it affects so many people, it's gratifying to know that there are a lot of people that are involved in the great work that they're doing and how much we all appreciate it within the community. So cheers to our employees.
Thanks, Councilman Kenny. It's nice. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one jump to the podium. At this point, we need to take a brief 2 or 3 minute recess before we adjourn to executive session, and I would entertain a motion toward that end at this point.
I'd move to adjourn to executive session.
Councilman Kenny, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to adjourn regular session to executive session. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're going to be adjourned for about 2 or 3 minutes. After that,